Just a few years back, all of us were paranoid about an epidemic. It was totally new to us, no one knew how to fight that enemy. Thanks to modern medical science, we finally found potential cures and also learned how to deal with that disease. COVID 19 proved that even after having thousands of years of knowledge about diseases and medicines, we are still not immune. Any day, an unknown virus can shake the foundation of human civilization. Then imagine how the situation was a few hundred or thousand years back when medical science was not so advanced. Diseases were not only diseases back then, they were demons to our ancestors. They had little knowledge about the illness causing agents, so the only hope they were left with was God or gods. Welcome to Sepia Diaries. Today we are going to explore the mysterious realm of demons, of diseases, and the gods that helped us defeat them. The more people moved away from nature, the more they became vulnerable to diseases. The emergence of cities, expansion of trade routes, and growth of large empires increased both physical and social interactions between people and communities. Probably for this reason, the earliest record of epidemics is linked to the Mesopotamian civilization, which was an urban civilization with flourishing trading activities. Epidemics have been a terror for human civilization since the Bronze Age, and plague is one of the major reasons for epidemics. The Hittite plague at the end of the Bronze Age is believed to be the first known record of biological warfare. It is said that the Hittites sent infected rams to their enemies, the Arzwans. Several major literary sources have mentioned different sort of epidemics, including plague. For example, the Bible, Homer's Iliad, the history of Peloponnesian War by Thucydides, and so on. Military camps were considered as the breeding ground for epidemics. The Antonine Plague in the Roman Empire, for example, probably was carried by Roman soldiers to Europe who were returning from the Near East. Anyway, so far scholars have identified three major plague pandemics in history: the Justinian plague in Constantinople, the Black Death, and the plague in Yunnan province, southwest China. The Black Death is probably the most infamous one, a pandemic caused by the bubonic plague in Eurasia in the 14th century. It arrived in Messina in Sicily, probably from Central Asia, through trading ships and then spread all over Europe. The cities and cultural centers were the areas mostly affected by it. It changed the European economy forever by reducing its population and increasing the value of labor. But the question is, how much people knew about these diseases? Not much. The origin of plague has always been thought of as supernatural. It was more of a punishment from God or some sort of curse, black magic that humans didn't know how to deal with. Until the 19th century CE, the actual cause of plague remained hidden from the human eyes. The first bubonic plague vaccine was developed by bacteriologist Waldemar Haffkine in 1897. He tested the vaccine on himself to prove that the vaccine was safe. Well, we have talked a lot about the Western world. What about India? India has dealt with multiple contagious diseases, for example, smallpox, chickenpox, measles, flu, cholera, dysentery, and so on. How did people see these diseases? Sometimes they were seen as punishment from gods, and sometimes specific entities would be blamed. According to legends, a demon called Jarasur is responsible for the spread of fever, a fearsome entity who can be seen as both a demon and a god. Smallpox, which is originated in old Eurasia, was believed to be kind of a possession. People thought that goddess Shitala was showing her fiery aspect through the fever, so she needed to be pleased to cool it down. Smallpox became prevalent in India and surrounding regions in the 7th century and claimed uncountable lives. All ancient civilizations had their healing gods to protect them from lethal ailments. But the interesting thing is, in many cases, the healing deities were believed to be responsible for spreading the disease as well. Since diseases were seen as punishment by gods for the sins committed by humans, appeasing gods through prayers and rituals seemed important to people of that era. Some of the most popular healing gods were The sun god Apollo is also the god of health in ancient Greece and Rome. Unfortunately, in sources like Iliad, Apollo is the one who inflicts plague on humanity with his far-reaching arrows and also cures them. His son Asclepius was known for his exceptional healing capabilities. It is believed that he could even resurrect the dead. In ancient Egyptian culture, goddess Sekhmet was the goddess of war, diseases and healing at the same time. Like Apollo, sun god Re created her to destroy rebellious humans that challenged his authority. She caused epidemics to punish the mortals. Her priests, however, were seen as healers as they could appease Sekhmet. In ancient Mesopotamia, multiple healing deities, namely goddess Gula, goddess Ninkara, can be found. Eventually, they became one who gifted humanity with the sacred knowledge of medicines. Both of them could spread diseases as punishment or curse. Ancient Mesopotamians believed that by sealing an entire city, trapping the evil inside a house, and attracting protective spirits, such problems could be cured. Since the Roman Catholic Church saw the Black Death as God's punishment, they asked people to pray to compensate for their sins. Even physicians prescribed people to wear religious medals with magic spells like abracadabra, flee from the plague-affected areas, avoid bathing, burn incense, and so on. Natural healing and Ayurveda have always been important in Indian culture. It can be felt in the way religious traditions such as Hinduism and Buddhism, which emerged from Indian culture, see the deities of healing. Obviously, I can't cover all healing and medicine related deities in this video. For example, Ashwin Kumars, physician of gods Dhanvantari, Buddhist goddess Hariti, and many more. But I'll mention two goddesses that were closely linked to contagious diseases. In Tantric Buddhism, we can find a very interesting healing deity named Parnashavari, one aspect of goddess Tara. Evidence suggests that during the Pala period, she used to be worshipped in Bikrampur near Dhaka. The word Parna means leaf, which indicates that she is closely associated with nature and forests. Her complexion is radiant emerald green. In her iconographic forms, she often appears with medicinal plants in her hands. She adorns herself with leaves, feathers, flowers, fruit, and berries. All of these features indicate the important roles that medicinal herbs and nature play in curing ailments. Anyway, she is a compassionate deity, but is never worshipped as a mother. The hymn dedicated to her calls her Pishachi, one that consumes blood and flesh. The reason behind this is her role as the spreader of diseases when irritated. In Hinduism, the most well-known goddess related to fever is probably goddess Shitala. In her iconographic form, she appears with a broom in her hand that she uses to sweep away germs and diseases. She is Shitala, which literally means the cold one. She cools down fevers. People also associate her with smallpox, measles, and chickenpox. Goddess Shitala is seen as a loving mother who protects her devotees from illness. She has been mentioned in scriptures like Skanda Puran. Some even claim that goddess Shitala and goddess Parnashavari are the same. One debate will always be there. Did people's belief in the supernatural stand in the way of developing a scientific approach toward diseases? Well, I am no one to answer, but I feel in an age when science was not that advanced, only belief in God could help people cope with tough situations. I hope you like this video. If yes, then hit the like button, and for more content on history, culture and mythology, subscribe to Sepia Diaries. Thanks for watching. See you soon.